You can get yourself this Amber tier Steph Curry for absolutely free from the brand new Fantasy Finals event. And I'm going to show you exactly how you can do that, plus what it's going to take in order to get him. Now, of course, starting off before the event even dropped, you had to be at the Amber tier. And you can see I'm just scraping the minimum requirements, which are a team power rating of 85,000. So you can see before the event, I made it up to 86k. So I am just in that bracket to be able to get Steph Curry. If you're not in the bracket, then you'll be getting some lower rewards, but as you can see, you will be getting a couple of players along the way. The very first thing you want to do is getting as much style bonus as possible. Now you'll see at the moment on my team, I got 2 players over here. That's going to give me a 40% style bonus. Every single player you add on top of that is going to be another 20% style bonus. So of course, if I've got 1 player from the event, I've got a 20% bonus. The next one's going to get me to 40, which I'm at the moment. If I get a third one, that's 60%. Fourth one's 80%. And then that final player is going to get me a 100% style bonus. So the more style bonus you have, the better you're going to get rewards wise, because it does mean you're going to get more points every single event. Now, of course, you're going to get players as I've done, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have done, from previous events that we have had to do with the theme. But obviously you can also craft players. So you can see I can craft myself the low overall players, so Luke Kennard, and of course that's Steve Kerr as well. Look at the positions as well, because as you'll notice in my team, I already had a small forward. I already had a shooting guard as well from this event. So I might be looking to get that Steve Kerr just to get me a couple more style points bonus, because that'll be very helpful indeed. Of course, look at that position, look at the players which you don't have, because the more spots you can fill on that lineup, the more style bonus you're going to be able to get every single time you play through an event. And that is going to be very important as we go on to the event. In terms of the Fantasy Finals, you are just simply going to be picking easy, medium, and hard, and you will be picking one of those ones, and then you'll just simply play the game. You can switch between the two, and I'll go into the differences in terms of points a little bit later on. Each event is going to cost you 1 of these energies, and as you'll notice, they are on a 30-minute cooldown. So that is something to take into consideration. If you had played the power cap, I think it was, event, you might have got some small event charges like me, which again are going to be very useful in getting you that extra couple of games to be able to play through. Of course, make sure you're using them. Watching an ad sometimes when that comes up as well is going to be very useful. Also, maybe buying some of these point double ups as well. You'll notice if you haven't already claim up your free one, there is a watch ad to get another one. And of course, you can spend some coins here and there to get some extra point doublers, because those are going to be very useful in helping you get more and more points. In terms of these events, obviously the easy mode is of course going to be easier than the medium one, and the hard one is going to be fairly difficult. You'll notice it does tell you the team you're coming up against, what power rating they are. And you'll notice on the hard mode is 96k power for me, which is going to be very tough considering I've got an 81k power team. Obviously gone down a little bit with those extra players to get myself a style bonus, but you'll notice there is a re-roll button over here. If I just press on that, it's going to give me a new set of opponents. And now, as you can see, it has lowered that medium one a little bit down to 89k. The hard one is still kind of high at 94k. You can just keep re-rolling it again and again and again. As you can see, that one's lowered it to about 91k. So once I've got that, I might try and play that hard mode. You can stick to the medium mode. I wouldn't suggest you're really going too much on the easy mode, because it isn't going to be too rewarding in terms of how many points you're getting. That's going to be very useful in helping you get through that. Make sure you're re-rolling, getting a decent opponent, one that you might think you are able to beat, and then going on and playing that one and hopefully getting the win. So definitely make sure you're making use of that re-roll and then trying to find those easy opponents. Of course, you will get some extra rewards if you go and look at the rankings and the leaderboard, though it is extremely difficult to get all the way up to the top. You'll notice people are already at 1.4 million points over there to get to that very top rewards. In terms of those rewards, you can always get that Steph Curry from those rewards, but again, that's going to be very difficult to get up to those brackets. You will get some more of these Rainmaker collectibles, which can help you craft some more players later on down the line. But in terms of exactly what you're going to get from this event, if you are no money spent, it is possible to get all the way up to Curry, and we'll go through it bit by bit. So I'll put up on screen now a little table I've made of all the stuff and the number of wins it's going to take you to play through all the events. And if we start off with that style bonus on the left-hand side, and we start off with that easy mode, if you're using 0% style bonus, and to be honest, at the moment you should be about maybe 40 to 80%, maybe even 100%, but the minimum probably about 40% at the moment with style bonus. Of course, 60% would be ideal at this point in time, and you can always go up bit by bit. But in terms of the easy mode, if you have 0% style bonus, you're going to be getting 200 points every single time you play through that easy mode, and that is going to mean you'll need to get yourself 300 wins to get up to the total, which is 60,000 points to get that Stephen Curry. And then it goes up bit by bit. So with 20% style bonus, you're getting 240 points per event. That's 250 wins required. all the way up to that 200%. And that's if you're using a doubler every single time you play through an event. That's 400 points per event. That's only 75 wins. Of course, the majority of people who are free to play aren't going to be able to have that many doublers to play through 75 events to get yourself that many points. If you have got that 100% style bonus, that is only 150 wins required in order to get that, which again isn't too much, but as we go on to the medium section, it is going to be a lot easier to try and get these points, because obviously if you're starting off at 0% style bonus on the medium section, you're already getting 350 points, which is only 171 wins, all the way up to 100% style bonus, getting yourself 700 points per event, and that is of course 86 wins in total to get yourself 60k to get yourself that Stephen Curry. And then it goes up again even further if you do go ahead and play the hard mode. Of course, all of this stuff is if you are getting those wins. If you get the loss, it is going to give you less points per loss. So take that into consideration as well. It is a lot harder to win those hard games versus the medium ones, and then of course the easy ones. But on the hard mode, with no style bonus, you're getting 500 points per event, and that is 120 wins required in order to get that Steph Curry. If you look at 100% style bonus, that's 1,000 points every single event, and that's 60 wins every single time you play through it. I said the majority of people are possibly around 60%, maybe 80%. So that's about 75 or 67 wins over there, depending on what style bonus you have on the hard mode. And then the medium mode is going to be about 107 or 95 wins if you are on those 60 to 80%. And of course, the easy mode, it is going to require a lot more games for you to play through in order to get that kind of stuff. But you will have enough energy to do so. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, watching an advert when it comes up, using that small event charger. But because they're on a 30-minute repeat, you have about 1,440 minutes every single day. Now, of course, you're probably going to spend a decent amount of that probably sleeping and eating and all that stuff. So let's say you have about 10 hours sleeping and eating, potentially. Obviously, that's going to differ from person to person, and this is just some rough calculations here. That means you're going to be able to get yourself up to 840 minutes left in the day. If you divide that by 30, because that's how many times the stamina sort of refreshes, that's 28 energy every single day. Times that by 4 days, because that's roughly how long the promo is out for. That's about 112 energy throughout the event. And of course, you need to get yourself on the easy mode about 150 wins if you're using 100% style bonus to get yourself that, which you don't have enough energy for unless of course you're sleeping a bit less or spending less time to eat and all of that stuff. Again, this is just completely rough calculations. So your best bet with this event is to probably go ahead and play through the majority of events on the hard mode, getting the wins, provided you are getting those wins. But it isn't too bad if you are going on that medium side, if you got a good amount of style bonus. And of course, as I said earlier, using that catalog to fill up your team, and of course using that reward tiers. So you'll notice I get a Kristaps Porzingis straight away, which is going to be a power forward. Again, I need that spot on my team to get myself some more style bonus. So I might try and get that Steve Kerr, replace the Curry, just to get some more style bonus every single time I play through events. But on the flip side, if I do get Steve Kerr, Curry's really good when I'm going in and playing through some of these events. So that might be a slight disadvantage as I'm going through some of the events. It's kind of weighing up, are you going to get the win or are you going to get those style bonus? So that is pretty much going to be all the tips that I can give with the Fantasies final event. If you got any other tips, let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know whether you are going to try and get yourself this crazy amber tier Steph Curry. And of course, we managed to get ourselves at the time this crazy Steph Curry card from the All-Star promo. And if you want to go check out the nuts gameplay we did with him, he was draining 3-pointers left, right, and center. Go check out that video in the bottom left-hand corner, and I'll see you guys in that one. Peace.